And welcome to learning about two-step equations with Mrs. Richards, and also really we're going to learn about some multi-step equations today as well to combine some of our lessons and to give us a pre-lesson to Module 4, Lesson 4 to get us ready. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use the notes that are titled 3.5 notes, and we are going to do some examples of my way of solving some equations. So we're going to actually start with example 1 on the notes on this side, and I am going to give you a method for solving equations that helps you just categorize the different things that we want to put in on the right and the left side of our equal sign. So today we're going to begin by doing solve 5x minus 2 equal 13. First of all, the whole goal is to get x equal a number. We want to figure out what x actually is, and we need to get x on one side all by itself. Well, the way that I teach students is to use something I like to call a T-chart. So to do the T-chart, you first draw a line down the equal sign, and then you draw a line underneath your equation, making this T shape. I have my students all label the left side with the variable and the right side with the number symbol. That is not a hashtag, that is a number. And what I have them do then is put each part of the equation you're trying to solve into a category. Either it's going to go in the x category or it will go in the number category. The only real rule here is that if you take a term and it has to cross this center equal sign line, then you have to make it opposite. For example, 5x has the x attached, so it will go in the x category. And it's going to stay positive because we didn't cross that equal sign line. Minus 2 is going to be in our number side. But because we are going to take that minus 2 and we are going to cross the equal sign line, it now becomes a plus 2 or a positive 2. 13 is going to go in the number category as well because there's no x attached to it. It's positive, and we're going to keep it positive because, again, it did not cross this middle equal sign line. Then, once everything is in its own category, you add both sides, okay? So 5x plus nothing is still 5x. Put your equal sign back down. 2 plus 13 is 15. Okay, and you end with this little equation where you have to decide one more step. And I'm going to rewrite my equation over here now to make it so that I have space. So your last step is either to multiply or to divide to figure out x. Well, you want to undo what's already there. So this really means 5 times x equal 15. Well, to undo the times, you would divide. So the opposite of timesing by 5 would be to divide by 5 to get rid of it. We want x by itself. But if you do that to this side, you also have to do it to this side, and this will give you your answer. So 15 divided by 5, x equal 3. Okay, so let's try another example. Now that we've done one and some of us can get the concept, let's practice. So the next one, we have 5d minus 9 equals negative 24. Okay, again, we're going to start by making a line down that equal sign and a line underneath the equation to separate. Okay, really the main line we are looking at is that one that goes down the equal sign. That's the one that's going to determine whether I have to change the sign or not. The left side is my variable, which is d, and the right side is my numbers, okay? So 5d is going to go in the d category, so we will put it here. It's positive. We're going to keep it positive because it did not cross the center line. Minus 9 has to go in the number category. And because we're crossing the line with it, we are going to make it positive 9. Negative 24 is going to stay in this side in the number category, so we're going to keep it negative 24. Now everything's in its own category, so we are going to add both sides. 5d plus nothing is 5d. Put your equal sign down. 9 plus negative 24 is going to give you negative 15. And then again, you're at the end. You have to decide what to do to undo the last number next to your variable. So undoing a 5 times d means we're going to divide by 5 to get rid of it. And over here we divide by 5 then to get our final answer of d equaling negative 3. Okay, now as we move on and we move down the examples, they get looking a little bit scarier because there's going to be some fractions. Let me remind you that a fraction actually means divide. So when we are talking about a fraction in algebra, we're really talking about division. Okay, we're going to set this up the same way. We're going to start by making our line down the equal sign and our line underneath. Make the left side for the variable, h, the right side for the number. Okay, so negative 4 is what we're starting with. That is a number, so we're going to put it over here, but make it positive because it crossed the equal sign line. H over 3 has a variable, so we're going to leave it on the variable side. It stays positive because it did not cross this line. 10 is a number. We will keep it there. Again, did not cross that middle line, so we get to keep it positive. We are again going to add on both sides. Well, h over 3 plus nothing is still h over 3, and actually I'm going to write mine over here because of space. 4 plus 10 on the other side gives me 14. And now we have to look. We're trying to get rid of the number that's still by the variable. Well, the opposite of h divided by 3 is going to be to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 3 to get rid of it and multiply by 3 over here so that I can get my answer of h equaling 42. Okay? And so we have several examples that continue on down here where you do the same thing, fraction here. What's happening as we go on down our examples is that they just are starting to get longer with more x's in there or more numbers. And the idea remains the same. When you move things across that equal sign line, you have to make them opposite. Add them up in the categories and then either multiply or divide to get your final answer. One thing I will say, due to time in the video here, is that in the next one here, there is a negative in the fraction itself. So I'm going to do this one a little bit quickly and show you the only difference for that. So what you will do, make your t-chart, y, number, okay? Y over negative 2 stays. Minus 9 becomes positive, crossing the line. 21 stays positive because it doesn't cross the line. We add the sides up. We get y over negative 2 equal 30. And so now, again, we're to that last step where we have to decide, do I multiply or do I divide to undo what's there? Well, in this case, y divided by negative 2, I have to multiply to undo that. Well, we're not going to multiply by the opposite of negative 2, though, because we deal with all our positives and negatives in the category section when we've done it up here. When we're down here and we get to multiplying and dividing, if it's negative, we're going to keep it negative when we multiply or divide. So our final answer is y equal negative 60. And you can check your answer by entering it back in. So negative 60 divided by negative 2 would give you 30 minus 9 does equal 21. Okay? I'm going to leave the last two for you to try yourself, giving you the hint that in the end, or not in the end, on the next example and the one that follows, there are two variables in there that do not have a number in front. It might help you to know that If there is not a number, there actually is a secret 1 on the front of both of these. Okay, and I'd love for you to try them yourself to make sure that you know how to do this, and hopefully that will help you give you a new strategy for solving equations. If you have questions, please feel free to come in and see me either before school or email me, and I will be glad to answer any of those questions. Underneath in the Moodle page, if you are following on Moodle, you will find the worksheet that goes with this, and it looks like this. Ooh, that marker bled through. So it will say 3-5 skills practice solving 2-step equations.